I think we are live. The meeting is being live streamed. Fantastic. So welcome all the hackathon participants. I think we'll wait like a minute, get people to roll into the live stream before we kick things off. But we're looking forward to wrapping up this hackathon. It's been a good time. So I'll just be quiet for like 30 seconds while we wait, and then we'll go ahead. Okay, fantastic. I can see the chat, so that's good. Please let me know in the chat. I know there's latency for YouTube, but do let me know in the chat that you can hear me on YouTube. That is always a good double check to see that everything is going according to plan. And once I get that first sign from you guys, then we'll get rolling. Get through this winner's announcement. A lot of people in the chat. Good to see. Give me a sign of life, people. Let me know you can hear me. Oh, good. We can hear it. Fantastic. I got the official approval. So with that, I just want to go ahead and get started. This is Robert. Those of you who have been participating in the hackathon are probably aware because I've been participating in the Q&As and whatnot. I've also got Sergey with me who's going to chime in a little bit here and there. He is one of the judges and the CTO from Combot, and he's spent a lot of time looking over the project submission. So we are very excited to crack into the closing ceremony. So the first thing I want to share with you guys is just, I'm gonna blaze through this. I'm fully aware that everybody's here to find out the winners of the hackathon, so it's going to be pretty quick, but some pretty important stuff. The hackathon was a big success. Internally, everybody's very excited. I think we broke some kind of record on Dora Hacks. I think we had more than 100 submissions in the first week, and we spoke to them, and they were also quite surprised, given that, as you guys know, we have our own programming language, TSOL. So, of course, there's going to be maybe less developers that are, likely to participate, given that, but nonetheless, the results have been very good. So 481 submissions, 812 hacker registrations, unique DevNet faucet claims, 10,000, and 3,000 or so that were active on the actual day of, the deadline for submitting your project. I do also want to share with you guys some technical updates. The core developers are working on improving the blockchain all the time, and I thought it would be interesting for the developers that have participated in the hackathon to just kind of get a little bit of, kind of look behind the curtains of what we're working on in terms of improving the network. So there's optimization of infrastructure and nodes. So work is being done to optimize the infrastructure of the Venom blockchain to improve its overall performance. This includes the optimization of individual nodes in the network, which will enhance the speed and the reliability of transactions. Second thing we have, which is really cool, is enhanced development tools. So Venom is focusing on development of tools that will make it easier for developers to build on the Venom blockchain. Obviously, very important. These tools are going to simplify the development process and reduce the learning curve for new developers. Then we have integration tools for IDEs. So Venom is working on tools that will allow for better integration with integrated development environments. These tools will streamline the development process by allowing developers to write, test, and deploy their code all within the same environment. And finally, improved documentation. This is obviously a massive part. And as you guys know, I think we've literally been on testnet for 7 or 8 weeks. So it is understandable that we may be a little bit behind on documentation. But now that the hackathon has finished, we've freed up our time, which means that we're going to be able to deploy a lot more resources to getting the documentation right and build up the proper DevRel department that takes care of all of these things at Venom. So that's just a little bit of a look behind the scenes of what we're working on from a tech standpoint, which hopefully is interesting for you guys. And again, before I crack into the actual winners, which is what most people are probably here for, just want to encourage everybody to keep building. So again, for the participants in the hackathon, the DevNet is going to continue to run. So you can just keep building on your project. And if that were to change, we would certainly let you know. But for now, everything is going to continue the same. So if you want to improve on your project, continue building, which we certainly encourage, just go on and do that. You don't need to do anything other than that, right? Just keep working on your project. The other thing is the ongoing assistance. I just mentioned now that we kind of freed up our time. It allows us to kind of focus more on DevRel. The hackathon was sort of a one-off thing, although we're certainly going to be doing more hackathons. But DevRel is an ongoing thing, and so we're going to be able to focus on the whole strategy and the documentation and all that, and setting up the proper support for all of you guys, so that you have an easy way to get assistance, to get the helps that you need, the tools and the resources. And this includes not just getting help from a sort of tech support standpoint, but also we have the grants program and all that thing. So it's a full holistic thing that needs to be working in a certain way, and so we're going to be spending a lot of time on that going forward. And the other thing that I'll say, where I'm not making any promises, but hopefully this should be an incentive for you guys to continue building on your project. So as you guys know, we have sort of official testnet projects on Venom.network. Some of these projects that were in the hackathon, even projects that maybe didn't win any prizes, if you continue to work on your project and make it better, there is a chance that we may invite you to become one of the official dApps that we launch on the testnet. Because, before we launch the mainnet, we want to have a nice flow of new projects that we're launching on the testnet. And so, as you can imagine, you can just go look at some of the other projects that have launched on the network. It's a very good way to get attention, Twitter followers, users, and so on and so forth. So I'm just throwing this out there because I want you to be aware that if you continue working on your product, make it amazing, perfect it. Again, even if you don't win any prize here, if you continue to work on the product and make it useful, then there is a chance that we may invite you. I'm saying there's a chance because, again, we're not making any promises here. It may happen, it may not happen, but it is possible. So definitely continue to work on that. And, just as another reason for that, to continue building, once the mainnet launch, you're really going to have this first mover advantage, right? Where if you're early within your niche, then you're going to be getting a lot of users and attention just off of the fact that Venom already has a lot of users and attention. So you're going to be able to gain a lot of benefit just from the first mover advantage of launching on mainnet, as soon as we do. So that is that. Now, next up, it's time to discuss the actual prizes. So just for everybody's recollection, here was the original breakdown. Things have changed a little bit. The first prize, the second prize, and the third prize has not changed. However, we did find that there were a lot of awesome submissions, and we did decide that, hey, we would rather get more prizes out to projects. So two of these categories, I can't remember right now, but you will find out in a second. Two of these categories actually have 4 honorary mentions, so they'll split the 9K that you total up. And then one of them has 5 honorary mentions, so they will also split the 9K. So you're going to get an email with all the information as far as claiming a prize after I go through all this. So don't worry about that. And the other thing is, as you may recall, the number 1 winner from each track is also getting a security audit for up to 6K from Hackin. So the judging criteria. So here's what we looked at when we chose the winners. One of the major, really big things was sort of the code quality and the originality, right? If somebody just copied and pasted stuff from somewhere else, obviously didn't feel like a lot of effort was put into that. Second thing, potential impact, right? How can we see this being used in the ecosystem? Project sustainability, and then also design. Those were not as important, I will say. Certainly the code quality and the originality was very important, as well as the potential impact. And I also will say that I would say that there were a lot of projects who maybe had a great idea, like maybe the application is an awesome idea, but what was submitted was not enough to kind of work with as far as choosing that project over somebody else who might have done a lot more, even though that other idea might be more beneficial to Venom, or might be larger in vision and potentially more users, but then what they submitted just wasn't as impressive, let's say. So a lot of the reasons that were given for why projects did not place and did not win was either they submitted to DoraHacks with no GitHub, or just like they submitted to GitHub but it was empty. Also, a lot of projects that submitted, well, maybe not a lot, but there were definitely more than one that submitted with sort of EVM code, so wasn't really built for Venom, or I should say, not built during the hackathon. So projects that were, let's say, built completely before the hackathon, which in and of itself was not, is not something that would disqualify you, but you certainly had to continue building on something. You could work on something that you'd already worked on before, but a lot of improvements had to be made throughout the hackathon, so that we could say that, hey, this team actually put a lot of work in during the hackathon. Also, quite a few submissions were just the front end developed, just no usability other than sort of a kind of idea phase, right? Which again, that's why we're encouraging you to continue working on your project, even if you don't win a prize here, because maybe you do have an awesome idea, maybe you don't win a prize, but maybe it's because you just haven't written enough code yet or gotten far enough. So don't let that dissuade you. And another reason why projects did not place was, they copied code from other places, or just this sort of lack of originality, right? Just kind of copy paste EVM code and maybe not even tweak it for Venom, or even, I believe there were some cases of projects even like stealing code from other projects.
What's up, Sergey? Here, yeah, just to clarify with the front end. So some projects actually only build using front end. The reason for not placing here is there were submissions that only contain the website that is not working, basically. The website is no backend, and it's like an idea, a mock-up. And obviously, we did not award these submissions, but submissions with working front end, for example, using Venom Connect to connect the wallet, it only involves having the front end. These were fine. So I think it's fair to clarify this moment that it's not about the front end. We just mean that if submission only has a website, a mock-up, which is not functioning, these submissions were not accepted, because there were way more submissions with working applications.
Yes. Thanks for that clarification. And with that, Sergey, I do believe we're going to crack right into it. So, this is on the website. I don't need to go over it right now, but here are the judges that were looking over your projects. And with that, I think it's time to crack into the first track. So we've got the honorable mentions first, and I can kind of read off the descriptions here. And Sergey, if you want to jump in and add anything, feel free to do so. Ventory is the first honorary mention. So this is a marketplace. I think a lot of you might have seen them, because from a marketing perspective, they certainly did a good job. They certainly made us aware about them, because a lot of people showed up to the DevNet asking for tokens. So it's an NFT marketplace, and they've already launched a bunch of projects, even with other hackathon projects. So definitely impressed with what they've done on that front. So they've got an honorary mention. Sergey, is there anything you want to add on Ventory before I jump on to Venom Drop?
No, it's a classic NFT marketplace. It's a good submission because they did work on it. They put some work into the front end. By the way, the website is working, and it's something new. Also, they changed the contracts a little bit, so it adds up. So this is they did a fine work on here.
Yep. Fantastic. The next one is Venom Drop. So this is an NFT airdrop platform enabling users to create and distribute their own unique NFT collections. Now, Sergey, do you know if it's only NFT collections, like the NFT airdrops only, or do they do token airdrops as well? Maybe that's for later.
Oh, I think I haven't seen them doing tokens. I mean, I'm not sure if it's if this function is enabled or not, but I've only seen the NFT one, so NFTs. I think it's limited to NFT. But NFT standard is very well, in some ways similar to the token standard, so it wouldn't take much to implement this.
Right. Nonetheless, honorary mention goes to those two projects, and then we've got two more in the Web3 track. So Venom Art is another NFT marketplace offering a specific cool feature that you wouldn't find on the other NFT platforms. So this is an AI NFT generation mechanism, which I believe, Sergey, was fully functioning, right? You could actually go and create AI NFTs and upload it and sell it on the platform.
Yep, that's correct. They used some APIs to generate images, which is, pretty fun to experiment with.
Fantastic. And then we have, as the final honorary mention for this track, we have 7byte. So it caters to the unique needs of creators and collectors in the NFT space with diverse transaction mechanisms, including direct buy, Dutch and English auctions, and open bidding system. Anything to add to that one, Sergey, before we tap into the top three?
No, that's it.
Okay, we're blazing through. So with that, I want to congratulate the third place, which is the winner of, I would have to check the prizes again, which we might do real quick just to make sure that I say it correctly. So third place gets 10K. Yeah. So Crazy Portals, a strategic blockchain-based game inspired by snakes and ladders with unique gameplay mechanics. This game features adjustable map sizes, player capacities, round durations, portable customizations, and price allocation. Anything to add about this one, Sergey? I think it was one of the few Web3 games, right, that were submitted, like proper games.
It's one of the few games that shows you how to synchronize. Basically, you play versus another opponent. For example, I can play versus Robert, and both of us, both actions from me and from Robert will be recorded in the blockchain. So this is a good example of how to make two-player games and in the same time utilize the blockchain to record the moves.
Very cool. So please join me, guys, in the chat and saying congratulations to those guys. I'm just watching the chat here now. There's still a lot of activity in the chat, which is good to see. So massive congrats to Crazy Portals. And again, I'll reiterate for all of the winners today, there's going to be an email going out to you with all the instructions for claiming your prize. I don't have the exact time that you'll get it. It might be today or it might be on Monday at the latest. At the latest on Monday, you'll get an email with all the instructions for claiming your prize. Now, let us continue to the second place. Drum roll, please. Segment. Okay, so Segment uses advertising and self-expression by leveraging NFT and blockchain capabilities, allowing users to purchase unique digital segments to personalize and resell. This approach uses smart contracts for secure transactions and offers a unique ad space, fostering value and authenticity in the advertising realm. Sergey, do you have like that was kind of I don't know, sophisticated description? Is there like a layman's description that kind of helps people understand Segment?
It's $1 million homepage built on blockchain, and
yes,
I think that's the easiest description. You just buy pixels using Venom tokens. It's also a good example as how to read and write data, read and write from the blockchain.
Right. Yeah, that is the perfect short description. So if you guys remember, unless you're young enough, $1 million homepage, they sold 1 million pixels for $1 each, and it was kind of like this historic internet thing, right? And so they've done, a blockchain version on Venom, which I thought was a really cool idea. And again, a cool idea to use the blockchain and read and write data. So with that, we are ready to move on. Guys in the chat, let's give it up for Segment. Let's hear a nice round of applause. I mean, this is where we really need to be live in a room, guys, where we can actually see and hear the energy. But we'll have to make do today with the live chat on YouTube. So please, big congrats to Segment. Before we do the drum roll for the #1 prize in Web3, which is, I don't even know how to pronounce that. Is it QP or CUPE? But CUPE protocol. Facilitates
difficulties with that. Probably.
yeah.
I think it's Cube. I mean, because it's supposed to be Cube, I believe.
Right. So Cube protocol, easy implementation of various social media platforms with minimal changes. The project showcases fast, cheap message delivery, customizable server permissions, and rich set of features like tags and directions, etc. And correct me if I'm wrong here, Sergey, but I think the easiest way to think about this is like Web3 Discord, right, on the blockchain.
That's correct. It is literally a Web3 Discord with minimal functions, of course, but it looks like Discord and it works like Discord. You create servers have channels, and users can chat inside these channels.
Yeah. And of course, you guys can imagine there's all kinds of cool features that you can work with that, right? You can have token gated or NFT gated servers or channels or messages and I don't know, even creator tokens, and you can tip people for quality messages. Like there's all kinds of cool things that can come out of that. So that's a very, great submission. And we really hope that you guys continue working on it, continue taking it to the next level. And that goes for all of the winners so far. So with that, we can move on. Let's hear, guys, a big congrats. I wish, again, I could hear your rounds of applause, but we'll have to settle for the YouTube chat. So let's hear it for CUPE protocol. And with that, I'm going to move on to the next track. And I'm kind of blazing through this. I hope people don't mind. I'm speaking a little bit faster than usual, but as we discussed before the call, Sergey and I, we said people are only here to find out about the winner. So let's not drag things out too much. Let's give the people what they want, and we can have another chat some other time if we need to. Okay. Now, DeFi and CBDCs. Let's start off with the honorary mentions. So the two first honorary mentions is VPay. So they provide a simple JavaScript SDK enabling easy integration of Venom's tokens for online payments on any website. So Sergey, I believe you described this as sort of like a Stripe, right? You can implement this in your e-commerce store and accept, Venom-based tokens. Is that a good summary?
Right.
Fantastic. And then we have UPEX or UPEX, depending on whatever. I'm not sure. I'll call it UPEX. UPEX is a platform built on the Venom blockchain designed to enhance binary options trading. It offers improved transparency, reliability, and data security, allowing traders to predict price movements and claim their earnings more conveniently. So definitely want to give a shout out to those guys in the chat. And then we have two more honorary mentions. So Venom P2P, it's a solution for direct peer-to-peer transactions. Not a super complex idea, right? But very useful. So peer-to-peer transactions specifically tailored for scenarios where exchange prices are irrelevant, liquidity is low, or no pool exists. Leveraging smart contract technology, it ensures transaction security, eliminating the need for external over-the-counter offers. Then we have Trust Estate. So Trust Estate is a solution that leverages self-sovereign identity and verifiable credentials to foster trust and transparency in Dubai's real estate market. Designed to help foreigners verify the authenticity of agents and properties, it streamlines real estate transactions, enhancing the overall user experience. And that's a really cool one. One of the big things that Venom is very excited to work on more and more is this idea of real world assets and tokenizing them. So this is a very interesting one. And Sergey, if you have anything to add here, feel free. Otherwise, I will move on to the
not really. Let's move on.
Okay. Let me have a quick peek at the chat, see if there's anything I need to address. But I think everything is good. Okay, guys, let's crack into the third place. And again, let's give it up for Orgear DAO Builder. So this is the third place in DeFi and CBDC track. DAO Builder is a platform streamlining the creation of decentralized autonomous organizations on the Venom blockchain. It offers solutions to issues like the double voting problem and high gas fees, fostering better user participation and secure DAO operations. And this is definitely one of those submissions where there's only so much you can do during the hackathon, and we would love to see this project continuing to build on Venom. And obviously, everybody knows that DAOs are a massive part of any successful blockchain. So we're hoping that a lot of DAOs are going to end up using this tool. So massive congrats to Orgear DAO Builder. You are the winner of $10,000. Congratulations. A lot of activity in the chat today. I'm definitely liking that. So Orgear DAO Builder, give it up for him. Third place in the DeFi track. Now let's get the drum roll going, the imaginary drum roll for the second place, which is Deltex. Deltex is a decentralized exchange featuring atomic transactions, high-speed swaps, multi-token pools with customizable weights, and blockchain sharding for improved scalability, capitalizing on modern mathematical principles and smart contract architecture to offer greater flexibility and control to users. And I believe, Sergey, you mentioned that this was an extraordinarily impressive in terms of some of the code that they wrote and some of the improvements that they did to the DEX application, let's say, for Venom. So we are quite impressed with what they've built. And I will say, I remember their logo shows up in white here, but they did have an awesome, nice green logo and nice front end as well. So congratulations to you guys. Deltex, you are the winners of 20K. Anything to add, Sergey? Let me know. Otherwise, I will wait for some congrats to Deltex in the chat before we start the next drum roll. And again, I hope people don't mind that I'm going pretty fast today. I think most people want to find out.
Yeah, well, congratulations to Deltex. That's, in my opinion, very high quality submission.
Yes, definitely. They went deep. Okay. Some hearts happening in the chat. Some people that love Venom. So good to hear that, guys. Congrats, Deltex. Fantastic. Very good activity in the chat. Okay, guys, let's get the drum roll happening again for the first place, which is Unbank. Unbank provides banking infrastructure built on the Venom blockchain, specifically designed to manage central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs. Their system incorporates a hierarchical management structure capable of scaling and serving thousands of clients. Very cool submission. Sergey, do you have any extra context to add to this one, or maybe what you see the future use case of this one, and maybe like even features and things that you would like to see them add in order to take this application to the next level?
I don't really have anything else to add to what you have said. I think it's worth mentioning that there is important submission for developers, as developers can learn on their code. It's an impressive one.
Mm-hmm. Good. So check out the Unbank GitHub. Get studying, guys, if you want to get better at TSOL. Okay. We continue down to track number 3, tools and infrastructure. Oh yeah, guys, give it up in the chat. Congrats to Unbank. I've already seen a couple of congrats. So good work to those guys. They win $30,000. And now let's wrap it up with tools and infrastructure. Let's kick it off with the honorary mention. So we have Venom Analytics, a data tool that provides an intuitive interface for blockchain and data analysis. It offers data source connections, SQL querying, diverse visualizations, and collaborative features for shared analysis. And again, correct me if I'm wrong, Sergey, but this is sort of like Dune Analytics, right, for blockchain. Of course, a simpler version, given that they've only had a couple of weeks to work on it, but that's kind of the idea as far as I understand it.
Yeah, the idea behind this is something like Dune, that's correct.
Yeah, cool. And then we have Asterism Protocol, which is an infrastructure solution that facilitates trustless and confidential cross-chain transactions for dApp builders, ensuring cost effectiveness and reduced data transfer risks. It combines an on-chain module, Asterism connector, and 2 off-chain entities to secure transactions. So those are the first two, let me correct myself, the first 2 honorary mentions for the tools track. Give it up, guys, in the chat for Venom Analytics and Asterism Protocol. And we'll continue. The next one is Venom React Hooks. Venom React Hooks is a package that offers customizable hooks to connect, read, and send messages on the Venom network. Excuse me, by utilizing Venom Connect. It offers a seamless interface for network interaction and state updates. And then we have Tatter. Tatter is an alarm clock service for the Venom network that enables developers to delegate regular execution tasks by emulating services such as Keeper Network and Ethereum Alarm Clock from other blockchains. Tatter ensures regular call execution in smart contracts. So again, these are very useful tools for other developers who are going to build on Venom. And so these hopefully will continue to pay off over and over again as more and more people start to develop on Venom and look for these tools to build whatever dApps that they want to build. So give it up, guys, for Venom React Hooks and Tatter in the chat. And I do believe we have one more. So this one, there were so many good submissions that we had to throw out 5 honorable mentions. So Aversa, or however we call this one, I'll call it Aversa, is a Python-based toolkit designed for smart contract development and testing on Venom. It encompasses a library and CLI for building, testing, and managing smart contracts. Features include a dynamic generation of Python object classes, pre-built multi-sig contracts, and various CLI commands for contract management. So that is the 5 honorable or honorary mentions, should I say, for the tools track. So let's give it up for those guys in the chat, which I'm already seeing. It looks like the latency is not as bad today on YouTube, so that's good to hear. And with that, I'm ready to crack into the drum roll and the third piece. So this is Data Layer, is a chain analytics tool designed to benefit dApps developers, market researchers, and investors. The tool offers categorized event analysis, account insights, NFT, DEX, and staking usage analysis and more. Data layer also has an API access for user integration. Sergey, anything to add to this one? Or is it pretty clear, you think, what they do?
Well, this is a better implementation of Venom Analytics in terms of
Right.
code. So this is just more complex analytic submission, and it deserves, in my opinion, its award.
And they built their own API, is that correct?
Yep. It's
Yeah.
deployed. You can already check it out. I mean, it's live on DevNet.
Yep. Yeah, that's really cool. So congratulations to Data Layer. You guys won the third place in the tools track. So that's $10,000. Let's give it up in the YouTube chat for Data Layer. And I'll wait here to check in on the latency before we move on to the second place. A lot of people loving Venom in the chat, so that's good to hear. Okay, we got our first congrats Data Layer. So we're probably looking at 20-second delay or so. Not too bad. Okay, guys, let's get the drum roll happening and move on to the second place. So here is Light. So Light is actually a programming language designed specifically for Ton-inspired blockchains, including Everscale and Venom. With its functional reactive actor-based structure, it introduces several unique features to blockchain programming. So this is actually a huge effort, which I believe was started before the hackathon, but then a lot of improvements were made during the hackathon. And Sergey, do you have anything to add here in terms of interesting capabilities that this programming language adds, or anything to give more context on this language?
Well, to be honest, nothing specific. I mean, nothing specific that I'd like to add, but it's an alternative. It's a totally different programming language. It has no optimizations. If developers hear me, they understand what I'm trying to say here. So this is a viable alternative if you consider yourself more tech savvy and you want to dive deep into TVM. Light can be sometimes, because I did compile some scripts, but obviously I don't know this programming language, so it can be under certain circumstances probably more efficient than TSOL for certain tasks. So it's very interesting submission, and it was important, and that it gives an alternative for developers to choose what kind of programming language do they want to use for smart contracts.
Fantastic. So yeah, great work by I don't know if it's a team or just one person, but congrats to Light. You guys win 20,000. I see a lot of congrats happening in the chat, so people are excited to check that out. And with that, we can get the final drum roll going before we announce the last prize of the day for the tools track. And that is BioVenom SDK. So these guys win 30,000. BioVenom SDK is a versatile tool that utilizes a user's device for a secure biometric-based wallet experience on the Venom network. By simplifying onboarding and reducing seed phrase-related risks, it seeks to make blockchain interactions more accessible. So I believe the way that this was explained to me, who's not a developer, is that you can now use things like Face ID or Touch ID on your iPhone. So if you have you create a Venom wallet, you can introduce, the Face ID login instead of having to use your seed phrase or a password. So obviously something that is used in a lot of applications, especially ones that require, seed phrase, is a very nice way to log in. So we're pretty sure I'm going to see this very SDK used in a lot of applications going forward in the Venom ecosystem. So very excited about that one. And yeah, that really wraps it up, guys. Give a shout out to BioVenom SDK in the live chat, and I would say just a massive thank you at this point to all the participants. Even like I said before, even the guys that didn't win. It's not that there were definitely prizes or projects that we wanted to give prizes to as well, but there's only so much we could do, and we also saw potential, right? But we can only judge on what was received. So we saw projects that, again, maybe the idea was good, or maybe they even had a front end, but it was not functional. And, maybe there wasn't enough time. Maybe they had other things going on. Please continue building. There's going to be other hackathons. There's going to be, we have a grant program. We have the Venom Ventures Fund. There's going to be a lot of ways for you guys to get funding. And like I said, on the tech support side and the DevRel side, that is only going to get better in terms of assisting you guys. So we're very excited to have you guys keep building. Even if you didn't win a prize, by all means, keep on building. And Venom is going to try to do our best to support you in every way that we can. So that concludes the winners. Again, for those of you who won, wait out for an email. It's going to have a form to fill out so that we can send you a prize. As you guys know, Venom is a regulated entity. Venom Foundation is regulated by the ADGM, which means that we do have to do KYC and KYT, but we'll send you all the information about that. And I think it's going to be pretty straightforward. All the information is going to be in the email as far as claiming your prize goes. And if anybody has any questions, just hit us up at devs@venom.network. And also worth noting that, the prizes will be distributed to the team leader, and then you are responsible for distributing it to the rest of the team members. And also worth noting that we are going to be reaching out to, I think what we're going to do is make a tweet, like one tweet for each project that won a prize. And then I think we might do something slightly more long form with sort of the top one, like the top one winner in each category. So we'll send you all that information by email, guys. And then other just next steps for everybody involved. Like I said, continue building on your project. We're also going to be sending a feedback form to find out what we could have done better in the hackathon. It's our first hackathon in Venom, so I'm sure there are things that could have been done better. I'm actually fighting for a small budget right now to see if I can incentivize you guys to give better answers on that. So that'll be sent out to you next week. Keep an eye out on your inbox for that. Also going to be sending out sort of a form to fill out what, we're going to be looking for contributors and developer advocates and all kinds of things in terms of you getting involved in the Venom ecosystem from a development standpoint, in terms of, contributing to documentation or becoming a developer advocate officially for Venom. There's going to be opportunities on that front. So we want to start building up a database of developers that have participated. Also, the grants program is available. And we have a lot of submissions already, so I'm not sure it's gone super public yet, but but it does exist, and I'm sure there's going to be a link at some point where you can just go and find out all the information on the website. And contributing to developer documentation, we'll just give you more information about that. And with that, I really want to say again a massive thank you before we wrap up. I will hang on for just a second to see if there are any last-minute questions in the chat. And I'm not sure what could possibly be unclear at this point, but hey, maybe we missed something. Sergey, do you have any final words or anything you want to say about the participation level? And I mean, I'm certainly happy with the outcome. So I'll just, while I wait for a question, any final words from you, Sergey?
No.
Short and sweet. I like it. Okay, I just see a lot of hearts.
I can definitely say this was a huge success, and the amount of submissions that we got is incredible. I was shocked because we had to go through so many lines of code. We definitely did not expect that many submissions, that many participants. So that is, huge success.
Yes. For sure. So everybody's pretty happy. And again, even Dora Hacks was quite surprised. We get a lot more submissions than other hackathons with much more prize money. And again, we have our own new programming language. So we are very happy with that. I see most of the questions are around when will the Venom token come? Well, that'll come when mainnet comes, and we'll let you know when we know. Good question. Are all honorary mentions will get a prize or only 3? So all honorary mentions will get a prize. The amount will change slightly. So instead, there's 9,000 allocated to each track for the honorary mention. So it was meant to be 3 projects get 3,000. So now we're just going to go 9,000 divided by 4 if there were 4 honorary mentions, or 5 if there were 5. So pretty simple, but again, we did think that it was better to give prizes to more projects. Very good question. T Paltoon, can I get a free shout out? There you go. There's your free shout out. That was a good question, which makes me want to hang around for another minute or so to see if there's any other good questions to clarify anything with respect to the hackathon and the prizes and so on and so forth. When will Venom launch? Well, if you guys are talking about mainnet, we will let you know. When will Venom token come? When mainnet comes. Okay, I don't see any other questions, so I'll give it like 20 seconds. And if not, then I will send all you guys on your way to have a good, enjoyable Saturday. And then email to be expected from us to the winners by Monday at the latest. Okay, I don't see any other questions. So that is all for today. I'm going to stop the screen share. I'm going to say thank you guys for showing up today. Thank you for participating in a hackathon. We had a great time. And again, everybody's very happy with the results. So there's definitely going to be more hackathons coming our way. That's it, guys. Thank you very much. Have a good Saturday. Ciao.